Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan, and I'm going to go over a few different things here. We're kind of watching for the upcoming pattern. We're talking significant warm up for next week, and I've been hearing a lot of talk on our page as well as a few other pages about the potential for severe weather for early to mid next week. And I wanted to address that with a live stream video here. And I'm going to go ahead and go over a few different things, why it may not happen, why it could happen, and just kind of things to watch as we move closer to that time frame. So first and foremost, this is your temperature map for here in the Midwest. If you can't make it out, Michigan is up here, Wisconsin's over here, Illinois is right here, Indiana's right here, Ohio's over here. Okay, this is your temperatures. Your warm temperatures are going to be the warmer colors, yellows, oranges, and reds. That's going to be your 50s, 60s, 70s plus. The greens and blues are going to be your colder temperatures, 40 degrees or less. Okay, so this is today. We see a pretty good day across the Great Lakes region here. We see 50s all the way through Illinois, parts of Indiana, even closer down toward the Ohio Valley, or the Ohio River, should I say. Then up here in Michigan, we see 40s, okay? Move that through to tomorrow. We see a bit warmer of a day tomorrow for parts of Michigan, parts of Wisconsin there. We see, again, those 30s and 40s up in the UP, northern Wisconsin, northern Michigan. But all everywhere south of those areas are going to be in the 50s, maybe even touch 60 in Illinois especially. But we could probably touch 60 widespread tomorrow. I have a feeling we're going to do that. Moving into the Thursday timeframe, we do have some precipitation chances. We're going to talk about that after we talk about the upcoming pattern. But we do have some chances for a rumble of thunder or two, as well as some hail on Thursday morning, particularly on the borders of Illinois, Wisconsin, and also Michigan border where Indiana and Ohio meet, those areas in particular. Now, as we move into the weekend after that, we see a cool down right around Saturday. We see those blues and purples up there in the UP. That's going to come in for Thursday there. We see a really big push of cold air into the region, 20s and 30s, definitely likely on Saturday. But after that, it's only one day. We see a big warm up back into the next Sunday into early next week. We see again those responses right around the 50-degree mark for about the same areas. And again, the northern parts of Michigan, Wisconsin stay in the 30s and 40 area. But as we move into the Monday and Tuesday timeframe, pay attention here. We see a big warm up here. We see it stretch further north here. We see a really good push of warm air into the region. And then Tuesday, right here, the warmest day currently forecasted on the GFS model. We're seeing 70s in Illinois here, 60s widespread across Ohio, Indiana, parts of Wisconsin, even southern Michigan getting in on the 60s. And then also move it forward into the Tuesday night time frame. Take note what's happening out here. We see these air masses divided here by this gradient. That's cold front. And this little area here that I'm circling is a low pressure system developing very rapidly here. So on the warm side of this low pressure, we're seeing 60s and 70s, but on the back side of this, we're seeing 20s and even teens. Okay, so keep that in mind. It's a very sharp cold front here. Taking a look at what it looks like on a United States basis, check this out. Move this forward here. This is going to be Monday. And here is Tuesday. We see that big warm up here on Tuesday afternoon. We see this low pressure system developing here. What that's going to do is from that cold front through on Tuesday. Now that's what we're kind of watching to see the timing on that and the strength of that. Those two things are going to really matter when it comes down to timing of storms and potential for severe weather. But that's pushing through on Tuesday and even parts of Wednesday for the eastern half of the region. Eastern Michigan, Eastern Indiana, most of Ohio. You could get a secondary round of showers and storms on Wednesday, according to the GFS model. Now, will it happen? It could. It probably won't, though, just because the strength and the timing of this. I think this low pressure is going to move a little bit faster, but it's also just overall not going to be really supporting severe weather on Wednesday in the Great Lakes region. So what that's going to do, though, if we check out this, if you take a really deep dive into this, I know it's kind of hard to see on your end of things, but we see these little black lines. That's your wind direction, okay? Take note down here where I'm circling in the Gulf of Mexico here. We have unimpeded Gulf moisture that's going to be drawn up into the system. The system is so strong that it's drawing up Gulf moisture in the month of February. Not uncommon to see this in spring and summer, but pretty uncommon to see moisture this strong of a return up in the Great Lakes region, especially this early in the year. So what that's going to do for our moisture returns, now moisture is an important part of severe weather. We call it SLIM. There's shear, lift, instability, and moisture. So moisture is just one ingredient we need for some storms and potential severe weather. But in terms of our moisture return here, I'll switch over here to the dew points here. Now these dew points, we'll go ahead and take a look at the Midwest zoomed in look so you guys can have a better idea of what kind of dew points we're talking here. So this is going to be this week. The browns are drier air, the greens are your moist air. So we move into Wednesday and Tuesday, or Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We see these blues and greens here. Your dew points are going to reach mid 50s, maybe even low 60s the further south you go. That is going to be more than sufficient if this happens. I'm not going to say it's a guaranteed lock, but if this were to happen, we're going to be looking at a pretty good chance for at the very least, some storms with some potential for some severe weather. Looking at our shear profiles as well, we have a few different layers of shear we look at. The main one is going to be what we call 500 millibar, or about 20,000 feet in the atmosphere. Move that through into early next week. We see an abundance of upper level and also mid level shear here. We see these yellows and reds indicate a really strong, highly sheared air mass. So, what I'm trying to get at here is if this low pressure system develops as expected according to the GFS model, around the Tuesday timeframe, we're looking at some severe weather potential in the Great Lakes region. Now, some concerns that I have: number one, timing. A few different models disagree on the timing and how this low pressure develops. Some of it, or some models, should I say, really try to speed this up to a point where it misses the entire region. Another one waits until it gets past our region to develop. So over the next couple of days, we're going to be kind of watching trends, getting an idea of what this is going to look like when it comes to, say, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as we head toward the weekend. Because once we get into that time frame closer to the weekend, more confidence is going to be had in terms of timing, areas, and also potential threats as well. So in terms of everybody going to ask me like tornado threat, wind threat, hail threat, too early. We're not going to look at those just yet. It's just an idea that it may happen, not a guaranteed lock. I want to stress that it's not a guaranteed lock. So that is going to be for early next week. But the overall thing we're going to be watching for this week is going to be on Thursday morning, in particular on the Illinois-Wisconsin border and also over here in the Indiana-Michigan border. I'll show you why really quickly here. So we do have a upper level air mass in place that does support the hail potential or hail growth potential here. And that is showing up here on some models here. We see some of these models really hinting at some small, maybe some marble size hail trying to fall Thursday morning, 6, 7, 8, 9 a.m. across these areas in northern Illinois, northern Indiana, northern Ohio, southern Michigan. Also some storm potential with these. But again, no severe weather is expected, but don't be surprised if you hear a rumble of thunder during the morning hours on Thursday if you're in those areas. Overall potential, again, severe weather, not going to happen with this. The main focus right now is going to be on a big warm up for early next week, and also the potential for severe weather if we can time the system. If the system is strong enough, but also time the cold front passage at peak heating in the afternoons to really get these severe weather potential maximized, so to speak. So with that being said, that's all I have for you. If you guys have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments. I'll respond to them. But overall, just wanted to hop on here, test the waters here with the live stream, and get an idea of how you guys want to interact with us, and get an idea of what you guys want to hear, what you guys don't want to hear. So let us know your comments and feedback. We'd appreciate that. With that being said, we'll do this again sometime soon. But I'll be off here now. Stay safe, guys. I'll see you again next time.